The West Coast Eagles versus the Fremantle Dockers. Is this the most fierce AFL rivalry?
From 52 metres out, it's online! It's there! It's going to the line! It's touched!
In the goal square, a couple of heavyweights.
This is starting to look like the derbies of old.
Well, to find out, we have to start way back. When you think of the word rivalry, typically you go to those old Victorian clubs like the Collingwoods, the Carltons, the Richmonds, the Essendons. The teams that have been in the VFL since late 1800s. Now, fast forward to the late 1900s and suddenly the VFL think, let's become nationwide. Let's not just be Victoria, we want all the states to be involved. And thus they changed the Victorian Football League, the VFL, to the Australian Football League, the AFL. And the most footy crazy state was Western Australia, and they deserved a team, which they got. In 1986, the West Coast Eagles were established. Fast forward another 8 years, and in 1994, the AFL thought, well, why not add another Western Australian club? And thus, the Fremantle Dockers were established as the second Western Australian club in the AFL. And thus, a derby was formed. Or a derby, either way.
And again, it's on.
Should have it off the ball with the head too.
Now fast forward to the 21st century, where in 2000 we saw the rivalry between the Dockers and the Eagles become as fierce as any rivalry. In round 21 in 2000 we saw the Demolition Derby.
I'd like to have a look why he's grabbed his knee, because it was...
Snaps it back, here's a chance, Dodd snaps and kicks a goal.
Punches, tackles, complete hatred for one another. We saw footies in the 90s come out in this game. The game emulated the atmosphere and physicality of a grand final. You see, since both clubs were out of finals contention, they didn't care about suspensions, which led to countless brawls throughout the game, most notably before the game even started between West Coast Michael Gardiner and Fremantle's young forward Matthew Pavlich.
Gardiner was leading with that left. Pavlich is going after him.
They're coming from everywhere, Dennis. It was a free...
Gardiner beelined for Pavlich before the game, and after he made his move, the atmosphere of the game was set.
Field couldn't control it. Prescott knocks it forward. Still Prescott. In there with him is Metropolis, getting a reprieve, and he could well be playing for his footy future.
Again, the tempers are flying, so the players are very, very aggressive. Dale kick it has just thrown a couple. Look at this, Dennis. This is not good.
Dale, Philip Matera, so lively, so dangerous, so quick. Another one, he's got three. This one. And on the edge of his range, 55 metres out. Magnificent kick.
The Eagles led at quarter time by 4 goals, and it was looking like Fremantle were going to capitulate at home.
Kick it, kicking down towards half forward, one out, Clive. In trouble, the defender, Metropolis no chance. Clive has gutted him, runs away and kicks it. This is Fletcher breaking away, goes out wide to Gardner. Suddenly, it's the Eagles looking better. Gardner, who is a long kick, kicks from 52. It'll fall in short. Philip Matera in from the side, glass almost the mark. Philip Matera kicking it, he's fourth, and it's a beauty. Wonderful snap.
The Eagles furthered their lead to 32 at half-time. At the break, we saw one of the largest brawls ever recorded, which resulted in one of the longest tribunal records of all time. The third quarter comes, and the Dockers still fail to make a move.
Sliding in his ship, well played, bounces to his feet like a ship in the ocean. Down goes Fletcher, claimed immediately, and we'll have a bounce, and again it's on. And Dodd let one fly. Fletcher not amused either. Towards Green, across to Banfield, kicks towards half forward, missing it McManus, taken by Philip Matera, great U-turn, blistering pace, has the bounce, straightens up, he's got 5! How about that? Whoa!
Phil Matera booted a 5th for West Coast as they extended their lead to 42 points. There was no way Fremantle would come back, but this was a game of pride, of Western Australian pride, and that is why we saw Fremantle make a powerful surge late in the third quarter.
Slides across the face, Jakovic and Pavlich! Oh! Runs around now, very important kick this one, it's bending back, I think he likes it, the Dockers aren't done yet. The house shipped the long hand pass, Bandy can run into an open goal, the Dockers have got the last 3. Kicks inside the 50, Waterhouse. Strutting the green stage, it's Clive Waterhouse, such an important kick, that will be inspirational, he's got 4! It's a race, White is coming up, Cook just crashes into White, White goes down and he's hurt.
I'd like to have a look why he's grabbed his knee, because it was his Dale Kickett and Philip Reid are just going hell for leather down in the back line. They are just throwing punches left, right and centre.
Oh, it's a main event. The emergency umpire is dashing out to this one. Now McIntosh has been put down by Michael, but that was something. 25 points, Waterhouse across the body, going at his fifth, and he's got it!
They narrowed the margin to just 3 goals at three-quarter time, which set the game up for a riveting final quarter.
Hoops will get back. Can he snap a goal? He can! Can he control it? Fletcher running down towards the pocket. Chad Fletcher, well done! He's kicked a wonderful goal. Getting through his kicker. He's kicked the goal. Sends it towards the kickoff line. Waterhouse!
The final quarter had it all. More bumps, more fights, stronger tackles. I mean, even umpire Steve Hanley got involved, knocking out Phil Matera.
Kemp from half-back, kicking towards half-forward. Philip Matera flattened the umpire. Matera's hurt, but the umpire is hurt even more. Umpire copped the full brunt of Philip Matera charging up on the lead.
He was carried off on a stretcher, as was Mitchell White, after a fierce bump from Troy Cook.
It's a race. White is coming up. Cook just crashes into White. White goes down and he's hurt.
Earlier that year, the Eagles had demolished the Dockers at their home ground by 117 points. So this game meant a lot for the Dockers, as they wanted to get something back.
And smother there. It was Casey Green. It comes to Banfield, and Banfield's kicked a goal. Loose at the back. Waterhouse leads back. Another goal for Clive Waterhouse. Gets boot the ball. It's through. The Dockers are back in front. 60 metres from goal. Goes in short. Very short. Bounces for Dodd. Dodd snaps and kicks a goal. The biggest of his career. Kemp running towards goal. 15 metres out. Brown delays it. Doesn't come to him. Glass open goal. Kicks it.
But many forget that Darren Glass was inches away twice to scoring the winning goal.
50 at the back is Brown. Peter Matera deep in the pocket. Snaps it back. Here's a chance. Glass couldn't get there. Did he touch it? He may have touched it. It hit the post in any case.
Ultimately, it was the 6 goals that Fremantle kicked in the last quarter, which led them to a 1-point victory.
Wait for the siren, and the Dockers will win a remarkable Western Derby. How about that? Fremantle 15-11 have beaten West Coast 15-10. They trailed by 32 points at half-time. And the pressure on Damien Drum is released.
This was West Coast's second ever Derby loss, or equally Fremantle's second ever win in a derby. I'm going to keep swapping between Derby and Derby here, so just bear with me. The following suspensions and fines were handed out, and I'm going to read this from down here on my laptop. Dale Kickett was suspended for a total of 9 matches for striking Philip Reid twice and striking Andrew Embley once. Michael Gardner suspended for 2 after his fight with Pav at the start of the game. Brad Dodd suspended for 2 matches for a strike against Philip Reid. Equally, Reid suspended for 2. 7 players from Fremantle and 5 from West Coast were reported for melee involvement, all fined $2,000 to $4,000. I mean, that is just a crazy list. And I'm sure if that game happened now, every single player would have a fine or a suspension. Now, if it wasn't for Dockers forward Clive Waterhouse kicking 7 goals, the Dockers may not have won. Riddled with unrestrained violence, momentum shifts, and a cracking finish, this match was a catalyst for the future violent games that the two would share between each other. What makes this game even better is that both teams were fighting to finish above one another on the ladder. But sadly for the Eagles, the win for Fremantle edged them over their rivals. They finished just 2 points above the Eagles at season's end. So the win meant Fremantle got the chocolates. Years after, we've still seen the Derby become fierce. When both teams were successful in that sort of 2012 to 2015 era, we saw fights break out.
Should have got the ball with the bra too. Bra and Subin. Things have just amped up a little bit here at Patterson Stadium.
Bounce the ball. Have a look at this again. Oh yeah.
Just gets the hip on the arm. He's coming off with the arm wrapped in his sleeve, so he's broken it.
It's almost as if the aura of the Demolition Derby lived on forever. No games are more climactic between the bout between the 2 Western Australian sides. Particularly in 2013, where we saw one of the greatest finishes to a game. Hayden Ballantyne marked the ball outside of 50 on a very steep angle as he looked to kick one of the greatest goals of the season to win after the siren. He kicked the ball, and well, this is what happened.
How long? 10 seconds. Mazangu. Here he go. Barlow's got to take the mark. Couldn't get it. Knocked over the line. Clock stopped. Deliberate. A shot to the siren. The siren will sound it. Ballantyne, though. Now the mark will be where the 50-metre line intersects the boundary.
hard from this far out. He's got to keep that straight
He's
line.
going the drop punt from 52 metres out. It's on line. It's there. It's going to the line. It's touched. It's a point. It's a point. Let's listen. It's a point. West Coast have won.
Crazy, right? And we all know even more recently, fast forward to 2018, the famous Andrew Gaff punch on Andrew Brayshaw. Andy Brayshaw was a young first-year star midfielder finding his feet in the AFL. Much like the first 5 years of the derbies, West Coast were dominating. It wasn't until the famous punch that sparked fierce brawls and unsociable football.
Oh, jeez. He's got 3. We'll come back to this incident with Brayshaw.
I think it's Gaff boys on the far side of the ground. So they came together.
Talking about his... And Ballantyne had him lined up. And he's going at him for seconds. Meantime, the footy going for it's going to be a free kick, though. It's a Freo free kick, and things are starting to boil over. This is starting to look like the derbies of old. Back when Pav was throwing his weight around all those years ago.
50 metres, where's the ball? Fremantle, come with me, it's a 50 metres.
Well, Andrew Gaff's wisely just standing on the outside of it too.
Alex Pierce, Elliot.
Ballantyne was the aggressor and all. I was surprised it was a Fremantle free.
That'll do. It's a Fremantle ball.
Eagle players have to tread pretty carefully, you would have thought, given Andrew Gaff, as you can see, Andrew Brayshaw, he's in a bad way. That's going to be a massive talking point out of this.
Lost the last couple of goals, and that man, Andrew Gaff, is going to be the focus of plenty of attention in the media post-game.
You don't want to give free kicks away, you don't want to get carried away. Look,
the shot was ticked off, so no touch according to the review. Another one down. Now it's going to boil over. Lockie Neal, the victim that time. Gaff digging deep. Oh, he was there, and they got him. Ryan and Johnson.
He looks fine. This could get interesting.
A volatile situation. Combustible.
There's still a bit going on behind the scenes.
You've got to get Gaff off. You've got to get him off the ground.
He just said he's all right by the looks, but of course, these are extraordinary scenes.
This has to be one of football's best and most physical rivalries. Do you agree? I wouldn't be surprised if you said yes, but that is what the Demolition derby set up for years to come. Great rivalry, great games between the two West Australian sides. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you think it is the best rivalry or not. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thank you.